Hello and welcome again to our ministry spotlight. Today we are with Minister Alexandra Thomas with the 412 Youth Ministry. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
Well, thank you for agreeing to join us. I have the privilege of having two participants in the 412 Youth Ministry, and I'm excited to be able to talk to Minister Wright today about her class and how students and youth in the community can get involved with 412. Minister Starr, can you tell me the name of the ministry?
So we are the 412 Youth Ministry, and our name is derived from 1 Timothy 4:12.
And when do you meet?
So right now we meet on first and third Sundays. When we're not under COVID protocol, we meet every Sunday, Wednesdays, and have some Saturday activities as well.
And how are you meeting? Are you live or are you virtual?
We are virtual. Can't wait to get back to our live meetings.
And what topics do you cover with the youth?
So our topics are pretty broad. We generally use our curriculum called Live Daily. Is Bible-based, but what we do with that, we take that as our foundation, and then we add in current topics, things that are trending in the culture. I've written lessons myself just based on what I hear the kids casually talking about, and sometimes I'll use a book to develop a series as well. So we talk about everything: relationships, parents don't understand, issues in school, bullying, drugs, alcohol, what the Bible says about whatever the kids may be asking. So a lot of broad topics.
And who is the class for? I know this is a part of our youth and children's ministry. Can you give us the age range for the students that are participating in 412?
Sure. So up until about 3 weeks ago, 412 was for 6th grade through 1st year in college, but we're excited to be bringing our 5th graders on. So that's a wide spectrum of kids. So we'll have 5th grade through 1st year of college, but we've got some creative ways to break those groups down to make everybody feel, valued and included.
Awesome. And you all have a youth center. Can you tell me how that came about and how it functions inside of the 412 Youth Ministry?
Sure. We are very excited about our youth center. So the church always had a plan to build a youth center that would actually sit opposite of Bishop's Place. Couple of years ago, we had some focus groups, and I was a part of a group with Justin Hilton. And if you guys remember, that space was slated to be the administrative space and expand the office space. And Justin had a wonderful idea that he presented to Pastor Herman, which was, why don't we develop that space into the youth center? So we were posed with a unique challenge. We needed to raise some funds to complete that space, since that wasn't what it was allocated for. So then another group that I was a part of that included Dennis and some other people, we came up with this plan to sell these legacy pavers where people could have their family names engraved in scriptures and put up on the wall if you're out in the GWC, and there's some over in the youth center, as a way to raise the funds to complete the youth center. And that's what happened. And it just blew up. People bought pavers, people donated TVs, game systems, you name it, we have it. There's some hopes and dreams to make it a little bit more youthy, but we'll get to that. But we love that space, and it is our primary meeting space. So we use that space on Sunday mornings when we're in person, Wednesdays if we have lock-ins, family activities. So we're blessed with that space, and it's just, we love it. The kids know once they get on campus, meet us in the youth center. They're excited. Sometimes they beat me there. We have kitchen, we have coffee machine, you name it, we got it. Our space is actually pretty dope.
I think it's exciting that the House of the Lord and the House of the Lord family invested in our youth by providing that youth center and that space. And it's been wonderful to see before COVID how you were able to use it. The other things that the 412 Youth Ministry did during the pandemic were doing drop-offs to families' homes. So being able to have things for us to be able to lead devotion with our children. Minister Starr and her team made sure that there were no gaps in the ministry that they provided. Minister Starr, tell me about your ministry team. I know you are the leader of that department, but you also have some other co-laborers in ministry. Can you tell me who they are and how they contribute?
So I have been the primary leader of 412 for about 8 years, and we've had some very dedicated volunteers who have always been what I like to say is consistent and present. So recently, I have pushed those volunteers to be moved from just being present to being fully engaged. And we had to conduct some training, so some curriculum training and how to facilitate small groups. But I am so excited about the team. So our adult leadership team consists of Sister Janice Adams and Sister Jasmine Watson, who will primarily be focusing on our 7th and 8th graders. And then we have Sister Malia Gibbons and Sister Adele Tubbs, who will primarily focus on our high school and college with us. But my favorite group of leaders right now is my peer leaders that we are developing, which is Sister Jalen Brunson and Sister Mackenzie Alexandra, who will focus on our 5th and 6th graders, and then Brother Ty, who will be floating between our middle school and our high school. So I am so excited about this team and working with them to develop in their call. Because one of the things when you're the primary leader is sometimes you have to realize that when you do everything, then people may feel like you don't need them to do certain things. And I need my volunteers, I need teachers to step up to the plate and be comfortable in the calling that the Lord has given them. So right now, that's my primary focus, is really helping to develop those leaders and developing their skills and their call, so they get comfortable in their own skin when dealing with our young people.
It's so wonderful to hear that we have some of these co-laborers in ministry that started in 412 and have been at the church. So the names that you mentioned, some of these students started in our youth Sunday school and now are helping to facilitate. So it's wonderful that through the leadership of the House of the Lord, we are also being able to help develop the calling of young people. It's also what I'm hearing as well is that we have some older people that are versed with being able to function with youth and understand what's going on for the day, but also you diversified the team so that way, if you guys don't know it, some of these younger adults that are working with the youth can be able to chime in. So we have a multifaceted team of people that are working with our young people, and they're fully dedicated to that. So tell me a little bit about yourself and your journey through the House of the Lord and how you landed in our youth ministry.
So I'm a former THOTL kid who has grown into a THOTL adult, so a THOTL lifer. My mother and I landed at the House of the Lord when I was probably about 8, leaving our family church, which was a Pentecostal background. And one of the things at the House of the Lord during the time I was growing up at the House of the Lord, it wasn't if you were going to serve in ministry, it was which ministry were you going to serve in. So growing up at the House of the Lord, you grew up with I want to say a idea that there was something that the Lord had for you to do. You might not have known immediately what that was, but you could find it out by volunteering, working in the nursery, or serving on the youth usher board, or working maintenance with your mom on Saturday morning, singing in the youth choir. But at that time, we also had a phenomenal children's Sunday school and youth Sunday school, and where you could witness people who had just a desire to see you blossom. So I believe my calling to serve families and teams was while I was a teen. So I enjoyed problem solving with my friends, but I also was very passionate about learning what it meant to serve in the church. Prior to being asked to step into the youth ministry at the House of the Lord, I had already been working in the nonprofit arena for probably by that time about 10 years with youth and in families. And it was there that I learned that while I enjoyed the grant writing and enjoyed all of the functions and events like that, my best times and the times I look forward to was my interaction when the teens would say, "Hey, Auntie Star, you got a minute? Can I stop in your office, or can I stop by your house?" Or a parent would say, "Hey, I really need to talk to you about this." I have a natural passion for people and underserved people. And I learned from a couple of good mentors that what makes for great relationships and discipleship with teens is simple presence. So I believe my call has been organic. I wouldn't say that I set out and be like, oh, you know what? I want to be the youth minister. I want to be the youth pastor. I believe that it just happened as a natural call to serve. I believe my heart and passion for teens and tweens I can't put it into words, because people say you crazy. You actually like teenagers. I do. I think they are the most misunderstood group of people. My heart for them comes from a place because of everything that I was given as a young person. The Sunday school teachers that we had were phenomenal. Our youth usher leaders were phenomenal. Place and space. People taking you under their wing and saying, you know what, you're going to lead some people somewhere. So we need to make sure that it's the right place. So come on over here with me. So it's just something that I naturally do. When my kids were teens, my house was where all the kids came to. If somebody needed to wash their clothes, I'd be like, who is this kid? Oh, well, their lights is off. I told them they could, do laundry over here. So it just translates so organically. And as I continue to grow, what the Lord has showed me is that I just don't have a servant's heart, it's a shepherd's heart. And I take that very seriously. If you ever watch me interact with the teens and with the families, it's just natural. The kids walk up or they see you when they wave, whether you're at the grocery store, if you're at the park, in the GWC, and it's just, they believe that it's a safe place, that I'm transparent, that I care. And all of that I learned growing up at the house of the Lord. So my desire is to continue to facilitate that type of environment, and not just for our kids in-house at the house of the Lord. There is a community that we have yet to tap into, our neighborhood that we have yet to tap into. But the house of the Lord has always been a place where young people knew, if we can get to the church, or if we can get to, the graves, if we can get to Brother Robin Harris, if we can get to Sister Suber, if we could get to a Mamie Gardner, there were people, Sheila Watkins, if we knew we could get to them, that we would be okay. And that's the passion that I pray I lead out of, that our young people realize, if I can get to 412, if I can get to Minister Starr, if I can get to Sister Janice, if I can get to Brother Tyrone, I know that's Ty's dad. So making those connections, but the house of the Lord paved that road for me as a child and a teen growing up. The church was always the safe place, and the place that I knew that I would be validated and I would find purpose. And I asked the Lord, every gift that he gives me and everything that he has put into me, that I wanted to give back to my church. And right now, that mandate is to our youth and to our families.
Well, thank you so much for sharing about the journey that you've been through. And I think one of the things that you challenge our youth to do today is go work at a ministry. We need people to operate a camera. We need people to direct traffic. And everybody has a place. And even if it's non-conventional, you still have a place here at the house of the Lord where you can minister and serve. So I appreciate the fact that you are continuing that legacy that was instilled in us, that there's a place for you to serve and you're not too young to do it. So finally, I want to know, what is the mission for the 412 ministry?
So our mission is, I believe, simple. It's to help youth develop a personal relationship with Christ through discipleship by providing them with the resources to grow spiritually, to become rooted and grounded in the word. So we seek to give them opportunities to serve others within the local church and the community, and provide them with the necessary support and partnership with their families to make wise decisions during this very critical time in their lives. That's our mission, and everything that we do is birthed out of that mission.
Perfect. Well, the 412 Youth Ministry meets on first and third Sundays from 11:45 to 12:45 p.m. And that is virtually via Zoom. For more information on how your teen can join this ministry, please reach out using the email address that's listed below. Minister Starr, thank you so much for your time, your passion, and your commitment to our youth and to your ministry co-laborers.
Thank you for having me.